What is going on, everybody? Andy Day here on Andy Day FM with my nice little personal save with Tre Penne Football Club from San Marino. Now, a few of you have asked me to upload this video here tonight, whatever time you look at it, in the afternoon, perhaps in the morning, maybe. To actually show my progress as to what I've been doing over the last sort of 2.5 to 3 years with Tre Penne Football Club. And to be honest with you, originally the idea was to start off quite small with the club, just to see what I can actually do with them. Just for a little bit of fun. I see everybody trying out these weird and wonderful experiments with San Marino. Trying to make them the world's #1 country in the world and things like that. What would happen if every team in San Marino had £150 million to spend and whatnot. But I thought, I'll make it a little bit deeper with this one. I've always had a bit of a soft spot for San Marino as a country, not because they get spanked every single time they play, almost every single time they play anyway. But it's nice to see a small country doing pretty good. So I thought I'll take one of their well-known teams, should we say, for anybody who's a fan of teams from San Marino. What would actually happen if we took a team as far as we could? And the first protocol, I thought, every team that I know that play in San Marino are of an amateur status. I thought, what would be the first protocol would be to turn Tre Penne Football Club into a professional team. And the funny thing was, in the first season alone, we actually managed to achieve that status of becoming a professional football team, not just amateur. And we also actually managed to build a reputation of over a 3-star reputation. We are now known as a national team. Well, a national reputable team, which in anybody's nature is pretty decent of this level. So we're just in our 3rd season. We're just coming towards the end of the transfer market. And if you've been keeping up with my Instagram page, thank you very much for liking the story so far. I have enjoyed playing this, playing the game with this team on Football Manager 2020. For some reason, I still can't upload any images or logos or kits for that matter. So if anybody wants to give me any advice on the comment section down below, you're more than welcome to. But what we'll do, I'll show you what we've been doing over the last sort of 2.5 years. So the idea was to try and push San Marino, no spoilers, San Marino, Tre Penne to a European tournament, whether that be in the Europa League or the Champions League. And Tre Penne always starts off in the first preliminary round of the Champions League. And it always seems to be against Santa Coloma, Lincoln from Gibraltar, or the New Saints from TNS. Or I know there's Athletic Escalades, I believe, from Andorra. It's some of the small countries, should we say, always start off their European campaign here in the first preliminary round. I won't talk too much. You can stop the video at any point if you'd like to have a look at the results. But in short, the first season we actually found our progress to be quite difficult, especially in the European tournaments. We got knocked out in the Champions League in the first qualifying round against Karabakh from Azerbaijan, 4-2 an aggregate, and then we got knocked out by Dundalk from the Republic of Ireland, 6-5 an aggregate. It's a bit annoying actually, because we actually played really, really well against Dundalk away from home, and then we just conceded a late goal. What I will do as well, I'll show you some of the players that we used to have as well. So some of the more noticeable players that I can remember from the first season who actually made a difference for us, and one of which being Michael Angelini. He was a striker, who's now a director of football. Interesting. Um, he had a very, very good season for us, a couple of seasons for us, I must admit. He's with the appearances that he was making, he was banging in goals for fun. And the weird thing with what I found with teams from San Marino is that because they are of an amateur status, they can sort of pick and choose players from any of the teams as to who they please. But that also goes for me as well with Tre Penne. So he was fighting off teams from Italy as well, trying to fight them to get my players back. But some were more difficult than others. But Michael Angelini was a real legend for us, especially in the first season. We actually went all the way through the campaign, undefeated. We won pretty much every cup that we knew. We won the San Marino version of the English Community Shield, Charity Shield, whatever you want to call it, against one of our league rivals. I'll call them a league rival because they were always there or thereabouts by us, Tre Fiore. So we went all the way through the campaign with some ridiculous results. This just being one of them. So that was ridiculous to see. Especially in our first season, I was scratching my head, thinking about that one, about how we actually managed to beat a team 11-2 at home. Pardon me, but we went through the group stage. We were undefeated. Got through the Coppa Titano all the way through the quarters, the semis, and the finals. We went through the league playoff system as well. And I think the only real tough opposition that we actually came up against in this sort of competition was La Fiorita. We drew against them 1-1, but then we beat them. Well, actually, no, we didn't. So we beat them. Fairly straightforward in the semi-final. That was only after we beat them 4-3, so it was convincing, to say the least. But if you look at this now, and you see how, I'll say, small the scores were. Leading up into the next season, we actually gave the European contest more of a go. The Champions League went all the way through up to the Maccabi Tel Aviv in the second qualifying round. We got knocked out with a penalty in extra time. But then we got put into the Europa League, and we'd already played Crusaders in the second preliminary round, and we beat them convincingly. But then we played them again in the third qualifying round of the Europa League, and we actually beat them even more convincingly than what we did in the Champions League, which I found a little bit humorous. But I think we did well. We did well. When you consider Crusaders from Northern Ireland in the Bank Premier, they've actually got some recognised players. We actually went all the way through to the group stages after we beat Ferivar. If I've butchered any of these names as well, I am sorry. We only just beat the Hungarian side. The Hungarian side. And that was courtesy of a 93rd minute goal from one of our regen players, Dennis Pessolini. And one thing what I will say, with us turning professional, we have actually been able to train a lot more and actually hire some decent coaches, especially with the money that we've made from these European competitions. I actually managed to hire some decent coaching staff as well. So he's actually turned out all right, especially from the youth academy. We went through the group stages, surprisingly and interestingly, convincingly, because we won the first game. We then lost the next three against Olympiacos, Besiktas, and then Besiktas again. We then played Karabag. We beat in the fifth game. We beat them 2-1. So we had to win our last game against Olympiacos, and we actually did. So there was a bit of a jumping around the living room sort of moment because we'd actually got through to the first round knockout stages of the Europa League. And then we came up against FC Porto, who, show they were actually able to show us, what a big European team can do. And that's not to say that Tre Penne won't be a big European team yet, especially when I've sort of finished with it. So they beat us 9-7 aggregate. But again, it's with that we were able to increase our reputation and actually attract some better quality players. I'm not knocking anybody from San Marino who plays for the club or anybody who plays for any other team from San Marino. It's just better European quality or better well-known quality. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute by our increased reputation. We won the league through the playoff again against another league rival, Domagnano, and we beat Tre Fiori 3-0 in the final. The third season, this is the one we're just going through in a minute. This was another moment where I may have jumped off my chair and bounced around my living room a bit because I was very, very excited by what happened. We went through the start. We went, as we always do. We always start off in the first preliminary round of the Champions League, and we beat Athletic Escalades convincingly 8-1. I thought, oh, it's not bad, it's a small Andorran team, and they are Andorran because I've already checked. We then beat TNS from Wales, the New Saints. We beat Buduknost from, I'm going to test my knowledge, and say Bosnia. Montenegro, close, bit of rivalry. We beat them 10-0 on aggregate, and then we played the Portuguese side, Victoria Pilsen, and we only just beat them 5-3 on aggregate. It was a very, very tough 2 games, I must admit. But then Sarpsborg from Norway. We beat them 5-3 on aggregate. It's two very, very convincing games. 2 goals in the last 10 minutes from Cal McManaman and Mattia Sensone. And then the magic happened because we actually beat Sarpsborg away from home 3-2, which then put us in the playoffs of the Champions League. And we played the Croatian outfit Osijek. And it was one of those games. We drew at home 3-3. They had 2 players sent off. 3-0 down before we responded, and then the floodgates just opened in the second half, scoring 2 goals in the last 10 minutes, especially in the 93rd minute. And then it really was a nail-biting finish after we beat them away from home 3-2, winning 6-5 in aggregate, which then led to scenes of pure jubilation in front of my laptop because we actually got through into the group stages of the Champions League. Something which, given the short space of time which I've been playing with this club, was actually, I thought, was quite the miracle. Unfortunately, we didn't actually win any games in this season's Champions League group stage, and I can prove that because you don't just need to look at the results, you can also look at the group stage. But what I will say is I'm not going to knock any single one of those players in any of those 6 games because you got to remember, you're playing the likes of the German the German giants, Borussia Dortmund, the Italian giants, Juventus, the Ukraine team, Dynamo Kiev. And you're playing 3 tough sets of opposition. It was difficult, but with that, what's helped us out the most, and you can probably tell with the league and cup form as well, just with these 2 results here, and I'll explain how they've come about. With us being winning all of the games leading up to the group stage of the Champions League, he was actually injected with, I think it was just over £13 million. I thought, money? We've actually got money. And the board actually gave us, I think it was like £1.7 million to spend. I'm thinking, blooming hell, I've got money. And then the board have been generous over the course of this season to inject more money, which in turn, with us playing in the Champions League, has increased our reputation further, which has allowed us to attract more players and more well-known players, legends of the game, if you will. And I've just, just before I started recording this, I made a very interesting signing. A well-known Italian goalkeeper who's actually now 44 years of age and he's still playing. I'll show you who it is in a minute, but I'm surprised by this one. But just the results, have gone for us in such a magical fashion. I think our first three, where are we? The first three, where are we? I don't know. First three games, 9-0, 9-0, 9-0. First four games, 9-0, 10-0. Our lowest our lowest result was actually against Pennarosa, and we won 5-0. But 5 goals are 5 goals. We're doing quite well in the cup still. I sort of felt sorry for Fiorentina. Not to be mistaken with Fiorentina from Italy. Fiorentina 12-0 in both legs, 24-0 in aggregate. I rotated the team around so much, and we still managed to score so many goals. So we got knocked out of the Champions League, but we are on course to go back in again. So with all that money, we actually managed to sign some players, and I won't share any spoilers just yet. If you follow my Instagram story, you'll have noticed some of the players who have actually managed to sign. One, namely, so a small little Brazilian who goes by the name of Robinho. That was in our second season, which I'll show you in a minute. Who I now think he's not director of football; he's an assistant manager of sorts. I may have a look at him actually, but yeah, we joined the club at the back end of June, I want to say. Yeah, so we joined around here. We made some free transfers, all willing to pay for free. We dipped into the San Marino Academy thinking that academy by name, academy by nature. And we signed a few players who did make some interesting, options to play. But the one that got me, who's been an absolute gem for us, was this player here, Filippo Berardi. He's still playing for us now, and his attributes, with us becoming a professional team, we've been allowed to sign some better coaches. We've been able to improve the training facilities and the youth facilities with that injection of money from the Europa League in the second season and the Champions League in this season. So we've done a fair bit. I'll show you the facilities in a minute. But that was the first season. In the second season, it was a complete free for all because I thought, I've got money. I've got a bit of money from the playing in the Europa League now. We won the cups and the league previously in the first season, so we've got a bit of extra money. So I thought, I'll dip into the other teams. I'll have a look, even having a look at some Italian teams who put some of the players on for free. So I took them. Took a few players from England as well. George Cox was our left back for a season. He didn't do too bad. He did alright. But the one that got me wasn't really just said, you believe it or not. It was actually this one. Robinho. He's a director of football. He's 38 years old as a director of football. He's not bad. He's there. So when he was playing for us, when you think of Robinho, you think Santos from Brazil, Real Madrid from Spain, Man City from England, AC Milan from Italy. And you think, Tre Penne? Why not? I saw him. I thought, forget it. I'll go for him. I'll um, I'll push the boat out. But he actually signed. I thought, blooming hell, if I can sign Robinho, who else can I sign? And this is really where the money started to roll out. Not so much as roll in per se, but also roll out just as easy. When we signed the likes of James Bolton from Portsmouth, who's our right back at the minute, he's doing a bang up bloody job as well. I'll say that much. He's a decent lad, especially playing in the Champions League as well. He's there's no shame in us getting knocked out with him at right back. He's done a damn decent job. Matej Maker as well. Matej Maker, who or Majka, whatever you want to call him. We signed him from Brentford for £700,000. You think that's a lot of money? We've got money to spend. Why not spend it? And we did. This is he was one of our players who we signed to play on the right wing. He's been doing alright, but what I will say as well is that at the start of this save, I didn't think it would have been possible to actually sign players and actually have them fight for places, and that's exactly what we've done. Another one from Coventry, Ian Carlo Poveda. He's actually fighting for a space on the right wing with Matej Maker. And he's doing a damn decent job as well. He's banging in goals for fun as well. Some of the goals he's scored this season, phenomenal. We've signed as well a couple of free players, so Jake Doyle-Hayes, Keenan Davis, Albert Adoma, sort of keeping the Villa connection together. Dwight Gale, any Baggies fans, Newcastle fans, you'll know. But the ones that got me interested, with this increase in reputation, we was able to sign Ezekiel Lavezzi, who, if you don't know him, was famous in his Italian era with Napoli and then PSG. I thought, again, if I can sign Robinho, why don't I dip my toe in hotter water and actually try and sign somebody else along those lines, such as Ezekiel Lavezzi? And it worked. Ironically, he has just retired, literally 2 to 3 weeks ago in the game. But then, with that, we managed to sign this little beauty. Not so little. Fernandinho, he was on a free. Anybody who doesn't know Fernandinho, they should. You should know him. Man City player for some time. Also from Schalke as well. Man City signed from Schalke for 30 million. And you think, these players coming to Tre Penne, they can make a difference. Not just in the league, but in European contests as well, if I can actually still keep them playing for another 12 months. But the one that I've just signed, I skipped past it. Incidentally, I skipped past it. Where is it? I'm not signing him till the start of next season. But, yeah. Gianluigi Buffon. He's signing for us on the 1st of July at the end of this season. And you think, he's spent pretty much all of his life in Italy, going through the youth academy in Parma, then to be signed for Juventus. Not Zebra, come on. We all know who you are. Juventus, 33 million. PSG, Atalanta, I think that was in the game as well. And then he's signing for us. But as I said, he is 44 years of age. 44. His attributes are there to be seen. Now, right, his physicals are fading. Agility, acceleration. I'm looking more towards these. All green. His mental attributes green. His goalkeeping attributes green. And he could probably become a very good goalkeeping coach in his, after he retires. But yeah, this is what we're going with anyway. So we've gone for a 4-2-4 wing play formation, and it's worked for us. It really has. It's worked. I mentioned about a couple of the youth intake players, one of which was the goalkeeper, who probably could learn a lot from Buffon when he signs in the next few months. Well, in the next 6 months, in fact. He's only 19 years of age. He's actually playing for the under-21 national team at the minute, and he's trying to break into the first team, into the national team. But he's doing all right. He really is doing all right. I've actually got players who I can actually rotate around. I mentioned about the finances as well. The finances are something to look at. I think at the start of this season, we actually had around about just under 20 million. So that's it's dipped a little bit, but it's money's there to be seen. And look at it. Could you imagine a team such as Tre Penne having over £13.5 million in the bank? It's ridiculous. And actually having a transfer budget of what was up until about a day or so ago, until I brought somebody else in, which I'll show you in a minute, up to 7 million. And the reason why that's gone down is because you may have just seen a little sneak peek about somebody else I might be signing as well. Mohamed Mata, an 18-year-old striker who was signed from PSG. Pardon me. From PSG, 25 appearances for the second team, scoring 14 goals, 3 assists, 3 Man of the Match awards, 7.99 average rating. We've actually got the ability now to sign these players, and it is something else. The club vision as well. I don't know why they're upset about that, mind you, but it's there to be seen. We've actually got, I think every season so far we've been offered a new contract. It's always been a 2-year extension, a 3-year extension on top of that. It's been something else. It really has been a joy to play with this team. And what I will do as well, I mentioned about the results in the league, and at the minute we are top of the league, we're top of the group, playing 6-1-6. We've only conceded, interestingly, 2 goals, and that wasn't in the league. That was out of Europe, should we say? Not in Europe. And that was against San Giovanni, and that was actually our home leg, and we won 6-2. It was interesting to watch because it was actually a very competitive game, especially whilst rotating the players around. It was really good to watch an actual team competing against us. But what I will do, I'll skip ahead to our next game, who is Tre Fiore in 6 days' time, because I think we've just finished off the transfer market. But if not, I'll move into the game very, very quickly, and I'll show you just what the competition's like against other opposition teams, and you'll see it for yourself. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're just about ready to play our league game against Tre Fiore. We're odds on, so that's been the common sort of story all the way through the season so far. I'm going with a 4-2-4 formation with Pasolini and Keenan Davis up front, with Berardi and Pavida on the wings, Fernandinho and Dorhayes in the middle, and Lumba and James Bolton as fullbacks, Mazzolo and Gualtieri as centre backs. And what I will do, just whilst I'm here, no, you know what? I'll stick with him. So we usually, we play this formation anyway. So with a custom wing play, with the mentality being attacking, so it's done us quite well so far. This season I've only had to change it. Well, changed it in general to make it more defensive, to go defensive or very defensive if we're playing in the European competitions. Jesus. Fernandinho, what are you doing? 2 minutes in. Never mind. Alright. Uh, good start. I'll tell you what, Mattia Sensona, you can go in the middle. He was doing alright, Fernandinho, until he did that. He's been alright with me so far since he's joined. He's been quite the leader, but this will be interesting. We'll keep it as attacking because I feel that we could still get a result. This will be interesting, though. I mean, that's 10 men for what I would probably describe as the best part of the game. What's he going to do? Nah. It's a good opportunity there, though, but Pavida puts it wide. I'm surprised by that 2 minute thing with dancing 10 men, but this will show. This will be a real test of character for us. But we have been very convincing in previous games, but this will be a real challenge. But cat's messing about in the background. Tell you what, our players are showing real aggression in this game. James Bolton picking up a yellow card. Could get a chance off the crossbar. Pasolini. Chance. Back post. No one's there. Never mind. Oh, referee in the back. Never mind. Was that the throw-in though? So we're still on the attack. Wait, no, we're not. What I've noticed about the highlights with this as well, only on the odd occasion now since it's, I reckon it's been changed or a bug's been fixed, is it will be a 2-3 second highlight where a ball's gone out for a throw in, ball's thrown back in, then that's it, done. But I think they've fixed it, to be honest with you. I still can't seem to get the logos up, so whether that's something to do with my preferences, I'll have to have a look. We're still pressing fairly high. It's still 0-0. Chance here. Could be. There you go, 1-0. Ian Carlo Paveda. We will tighten up. I will take your advice, assistant manager. Thank you. 1-0 going into half time. Could be 2, not unless they hit us on the break. We've got a fairly tight formation, or tactic, which has worked quite well for us. Another one off the crossbar. Be more precise with these chances, boys. There you go, cross comes in, another chance. It's gone out for a goal kick. That should take us into half time. 1-0, half time. How can you be frustrated by the feedback? Come on, lads, we're down the man, but we can still get in there. We'll give them a bit of inspiration, shall we say. Just give them a bit of a kick up the arse. Going into the second half. We'll stay attacking, but we haven't been doing too bad this season, I must admit. But then again, with the players that we've brought in, it's made quite a significant difference. Especially with you've had the likes of Robinho signed for us, you had Lavezzi signed for us, you've now got Fernandinho. I mentioned about Gianluigi Buffon signing for us as well. And there's another little surprise guest as well who we've managed to sign on a free. If you had noticed him when we were having a look at the transfers or the incoming transfers, what's he doing here? What's the ref doing here? Oh, we're down to 10 apiece. No, are we? Yes, we are. That's 10 apiece. Right. Get creative. Cesc Fabregas is joining us as well. Very, very soon as well. So his attacking midfield prowess can assist us in continue our fantastic form in the season. And actually, if it stays like this, it'll be our lowest goals in the game scored. Wait, no, there it is, 2-0. Ian Carlo Pavida makes it 2. It's his second goal of the game. The guy's got a brace. Slow down a bit. There you go. Just want to watch that left foot as he rifles the ball in towards the top left-hand corner. Lovely finish. Right, Pasolini, you can come off. For another one of our players, another youth intake player, Claudio Ronaldo. He's had a pretty decent season for us. He's been fighting for his place as well, especially in your fights and the likes against the likes of Keenan Davis, Dwight Gale, who actually isn't even on the bench. We're only allowed 7 foreign players as well, so It makes it more challenging as well for me. So a good convincing 2-0 win, especially spending the best part of an hour, just under an hour, down to 10 men. But no, it's a good win all round. You know, a bit of a how can you look switched off, Francesco? Wakey, wakey. But yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is my my Tre Penne save. 2.5 seasons in, we're on for another unbeaten league campaign. But if you have enjoyed it, drop a like on the page. Oh, what do I do with you? You accept it. If you've liked the video, guys, thank you very much for watching. Drop a like on it. Share it with anybody who you feel may be interested as well. Share it as much as possible. And leave a comment as well as to where you think or when you think we may be able to actually break through into the Champions League properly. Whether we're actually compete in Champions League or the Europa League for that matter. So let us know. I hope you've enjoyed it. No, you're not having him. Go away. You're not having him. I'm keeping him. What's wrong with you? Jake Dorhayes. You can have a new contract. Because I'm nice, Jake Dorhayes, you can have yourself a new contract. There you go. This will be the last action anyway. 1.9k a week. You can have it. Why not? Alright, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Depending on what happens next in the next upcoming season, I'll put up another video to show the progress as well of what we've made. And if we get into Europe again, into the big stages, the big group stages, whether it's in the Champions League or Europa League, I will create a new video. Thanks very much, guys, for watching. I'll see you all very soon. Bye bye for now.